one of the key ideas for white in this variation is to push g-pawn to g5, and then if knight is forced to leave this very important square f6, then d5, square d5 is weakening it further, and black tried to prevent it by playing h6, recognizing that the downside of h6 is that short castle is no longer a viable option, because black's pawn structure on the king side will be immediately ruined. But at the same time, black can hope to gain a few tempos, to have time, hopefully sufficient time, to create counterplay on the queen side, or even preparing the breakthrough in the center, d6, d5. So that's a battle. Whether h6 is a real weakness that will be vital for black, because the king will not find any more safe spot on the king side, or black will have time to accomplish something before this weakness on the king side will be felt. We should also remember that many positions may occur in this line with different moves order, and often white play g4 before queen d2, but for the purpose of illustrating these lines with h6, we'll just mix everything together. So in the game that we are analyzing, my game with Husman, g4 was played, and in a few other games, again, g4 was employed before queen d2. So h6, queen d2, bishop e7, and now I castled, but white also tried h4, b5, rook g1, trying to be very consistent in pushing the black's knight, and also trying to force the immediate opening of the game on the king side, and creating pressure on the black's king. But it seems that this very aggressive approach is not working, because black could create counter chances on the other side of the board. Kamsky, it's one of the first games when line was played, chose b4 against Anand, knight a4, d5, but after g5, d4, bishop takes d4, he took on b3, g takes f6, bishop takes f6, ed4, castle, and after knight e5, Anand played f4, knight f3, queen g2, knight g1, e5. That's quite an amazing sacrifice. Black ended up with a very nice material after bishop d3, bishop e5, and queen took all the pawns, but it's not about material, it's about activity of white's pieces, and Anand won quite a brilliant game. So knight takes e4 also didn't work because of queen e2, so probably the best was h takes g5, and then knight e4, and maybe black had some compensation. But it's better to refrain from immediate actions in the center, to play knight b6, because after g5 black can play knight fd7, and this pressure on the king's side is not a big danger, because now castling is not very convenient. We already know that after knight c4, bishop takes c4, bc4, white knight has to retreat to a1. That's what you want to avoid. And if knight d5, then bishop takes d5, ed5, rook hg5, and then rook c8, and it's again the same problem. Castling is not working because of knight c4, and then after bishop takes c4, bc4, knight cannot go on a5 because of c3. Knight a5, that's what Georgiev played with me in Rapid Chess in Paris, hoping probably for queen c7, c4 line. But then I played knight takes d5, knight b7, knight takes e3. That's a sacrifice we prepared for the match with Vichy Anand, but I could use it in the rapid. It worked nicely. Knight d8, knight c2, then knight takes a1, knight b7, knight c2, and back. And black has no reasons to complain. If knight d6, then white is in real trouble, because black creates very strong attack. Georgiev played g6, but after knight d4, gf7, king f7, black has very comfortable position. It's good material and excellent strong position in the center. So we go back to the castle, then b5, h4, knight b6, and queen f2. The same move that we saw before, preparing knight c5. If after knight c4, bishop takes c4, bc4, white knight is forced to move from b3. We can also look at king b1 here. That's what was played a few times, and I played this position from the black side. After b4, bishop takes b6, queen takes b6, knight d5, e d5, a5. Black managed to create very good counterplay on the queen side. It's my game with Shirov, who played queen d3, and then I simply castled. Because now, after g5, black plays knight h5, and after gh6, g6, white makes no progress on the king side. So Shirov tried to exploit the weakness of b1 h7 diagonal by trying to create a battery here with queen and bishop, but it was too slow, and after a4, knight e4, rook fc8, his attempt to follow with the plan could be met by b3, cb3, ab3, a3, and now bishop takes h4. And if rook takes h4, then queen f2, and bishop d3, queen h4 leaves white with no real attacking options. And if bishop d3, then bishop g5, and check is just one check, while black has solid position on the king side and will create decisive attack if white makes no precautions on this side. For instance, bishop f5, rook takes a3, and after b takes a3, queen f2, immediately winning. I didn't do it. I played queen c5, and after bishop d3, king f8, it was a very exciting game, which I eventually won, but obviously b3 would be a clear refutation of white's plan. Shirov could have played g5. That's a much stronger move, and probably the game would have ended as a draw after b3, and now the best is a3, and I think that might be an interesting draw. Bishop takes d6, very nice move, because otherwise if queen takes g5, rook takes a3, and then rook a1, queen a7, queen a2, that's a mating threat that prevents white from doing anything on the king side in time. So bishop takes g6, f takes g6, queen e6 check, and perpetual. Not necessarily the fourth line, but just shows that black has very good and very an interesting counterplay in this line. So that's why I played queen f2 when I had to face Husman in the simultaneous exhibition against the Israeli team in 1998. And after queen f2, knight c4 is not working. Rook b8 is also met by knight c5. That's proved to be a good line for white. So knight fd7, king b1, and there was an old game. It's it's one of the also first games in this line. Adams-Gelfand, they play in a junior competition in 1988. And after queen c7, knight d5, take knight c4, Gelfand created a strong attack because Adams made a premature advance f4, and after a5, take on e5, knight d2, knight b2, his position collapsed. Now we all know that bishop must go back on c1, and after a5, knight d2, a4, simply c3, knight b6, knight e4, and the games played with this line, games that reached this position, and also similar positions, prove that black's advance on the queen side is not giving them some real attacking options, while white has a very, very good positional play, and it's eventually when black king goes somewhere, then g5, and then probably f4, and white is always dominant. So rook c8 is another attempt to find a good setup. Knight d5, then knight c4, queen b6, trying to win some time, queen e1, a5. Here I took on c4 and on a5, but probably c3 was a better move. Now white knight can retreat on a1 because it then goes on c2, and in lines like this one, we see that black progress is stalled again, while white is about to launch very serious, somehow decisive attack on the king side. I took on c4, bc4, knight a5, c3, knight c6, cb2, bishop e3, and then queen b4. I like this position. It seemed very promising because after rook 8, a4, I saw that the endgame is very good, promising for white, which it is. But black could play knight f6, as was found later, creating sufficient counter chances. This position is absolutely unclear. So that's why I would prefer 19 c3 instead of bishop c4. Husband took on c6, but after queen b3, castle g5, black's position is very difficult, if not lost one. And eventually I won quite a nice game, so I was very proud. That was a great day. I played 4 strong grandmasters simultaneously, Smirin, Husband, Sutovsky, and Alterman, and won all 4 games. And this is one of these 4 that makes me proud. But again, we see that this line offers white probably better chances, and although black had different setups with h6, the final conclusion, again, it's not there's nothing final in these lines, but the current opinion which I share is that all the lines with h6 eventually give white an upper hand, because black doesn't have enough momentum to overcome its weakening position on the king side. So black now had to look for other options, and we'll try to investigate what else is available to prevent the white's advance on the king side, or in fact not to prevent, as we see h6 is not working very sufficiently, but to counter this offense. And there are a number of options still left, and they are quite popular now. And now we move to these setups. None of these ideas, or almost very few of them, are very new. As you could see from the chronological order, from the story of variation with bishop e3, many ideas were played, showed up, then disappeared, and then were employed again by strong players, and suddenly gained a lot of popularity. So it's a very uneven history of this line, starting from early 70s, and some of the key games were played early, but then eventually these ideas made it back to the surface. But now we're going to the modern setups, and when I say modern, is those that are being used at a time when this disc is being recorded.